Hey everyone, welcome to the Tech Stack Show, where we bring you the latest trends in B2B software and technology for customer service, sales, marketing, and IT professionals. Every month, we will be bringing you guests to help make software work for you. Today, I'm so excited to welcome guest Roy Edwards. Roy is the president and COO of Capital Presence. Capital Presence partners with organizations to implement flexible, hybrid, and remote business solutions. And what I love about Roy's experience for those in the audience is that he and his team have been talking about work wherever for almost 10 years. It's not a new thing for them. Roy is an expert in helping organizations of all sizes enable a work environment that is not only flexible, but extremely productive. Roy, welcome to the show. Happy to have you on.
Thanks, Adam. Yeah, appreciate the intro.
Roy, I want to talk to you about something that is affecting every single industry and every single market, and that is plotting out what work is going to look like in the near term and in the long term. And we have so many schools of thought. You have a push for a full return to the office, you have hybrid, and you have full remote. Roy, what are you seeing driving these decisions?
The traditional office space is on the way out. We're seeing our workforces, not just because of COVID, but pre-COVID, there were studies that showed that upwards of 90% of thought leader industries, so people who think for a living, developers, designers, physicians, educators, they were already projected, 90% of them were projected to be remote by 2020, even before, hell of a guess, right, with COVID. But that was the trends that we were starting to see regardless of COVID. COVID just accelerated what the trends that were already out there. The people who think for a living, those are the ones that are going to be first to leave the office. Your developers, your engineers, your architects, project managers, that from a technical side of things, those are going to be the first ones to leave. They are probably not even interfacing with anybody in the office anyways. They're just somebody sitting at a desk. The last people are going to go are going to be probably like your trade workers, somebody who's like an electrician or a plumber. But even them, if you think, and this is where a lot of people tend to disagree, they're like, oh, what about the trade workers? Well, the trade workers, right now, they'll go to the office to get a ticket or to go to wherever it is that they need to go. So you could stay at home, and then once you get the ticket, then head out. So those are kind of the trends. There's a lot of data to support it. This, like I said, this is not a new thing. This is something that is going on for a while. It's just what industry are you in, that how accelerated are you going to be working wherever?
Sure. Yeah, and I totally agree. I think the industry is set for disruption, and it was set for disruption even before we knew it was going to be disrupted. And I think there's, just like you said, there's so many variables that go into making the decision. But talking to many leaders, and no one will explicitly admit it, but there seems to be a lack of trust with employees and their productivity at home. So in the spirit of making software work for you, Roy, what kind of software solutions do you feel like businesses can implement to ensure employees are productive no matter where they are?
There are software out there that'll see how long somebody has been logged in, what actions they're doing, what documents they're working on. I'm a Microsoft guy, and so within Microsoft 365, if you guys are listening and you have Microsoft, you can just click at the waffle in the top left, click on an application called Delve, and that will blow your mind probably a little bit about how much information is actually being collected around who's doing what documents they're working on, who your top collaborators are. There's a ton of applications that are free to businesses before they even have to go out and buy anything. Of course, there's always going to be the third-party tools that will track how long somebody's been online, what they're doing, who they're talking to, and all that other stuff. But before you go third-party, look at what you already have within things like a Delve and those types of programs.
We appreciate those suggestions. And we see this in the contact center all the time. In the contact center, we're a little bit used to Big Brother watching what we do. But for contact center leaders, there's a responsibility to ensure that customer experience is a priority. And for contact center professionals, for you out there, staffing is directly correlated to customer experience. So what we're seeing more and more in contact centers is implementing things like workforce engagement management solutions and enabling features such as real-time adherence so that leaders can see that customer service agents are working when they're scheduled to. And that matters from a customer experience perspective, answering phone calls, things like that. So, just like before, in what decisions are driving whether we go to the office, stay home, go hybrid, there are so many variables to consider. But in today's day and age, it's not enough to know, you have to know how. So Roy, what are 3 things businesses need to do from a technology perspective and process perspective to prepare for a hybrid work environment?
Yeah, good question. So first off, you're gonna wanna reduce silos. And so when you're in a traditional work environment, silos naturally exist on whether somebody's in the office or not. So you want to govern your team and to say, hey, we are only using Teams chat messages for internal communication. For external communication, you can still send emails, but don't flood my inbox with internal communications. Send me a Teams message. That's one of our policies. A second one within reduced silos would be to turn your video cameras on, which I know that like people will get all, oh, well, my hair doesn't, like nobody actually cares, right? So what we actually care about is whether you're engaged in the meeting and in the conversation. Second point would be to build processes that work wherever. So you want to take a look at your processes and understand where those roadblocks are, where those silos exist, and then you want to create and build a process that can function no matter where you're at. So reduce paperwork as much as possible. If somebody has to physically sign something and Bob's on vacation, Bob can't physically sign that until he gets back. Right? Now, maybe you have a proxy or something like that, but you're still setting an unnecessary roadblock around a process that only functions in a traditional working space. There are, DocuSign or Adobe Sign or whatever, right? There are other ways that you can build your processes that will effectively work wherever. And then the third thing there is don't wing it. So, which is what a lot of companies did over the last 2 years. They're like, we have Zoom, let's figure it out, right? So don't wing it, because then you're going to end up in a space where you have too many software applications, you have too many avenues of communication, you have too many documents all over the place. One benefit of a traditional work environment, and this is pre-technology, was that when you filled out paper and you put it into the filing cabinet, you knew where it was, right? And so in a hybrid work environment, you have to replicate that into software. So how are we going to get that into a place where everything is governed, we know where everything is, we haven't created multiple locations for documents and data, so don't wing it.
Number 1, knock down silos. Number 2, build processes around work wherever. And number 3, do not wing it. Roy, amazing insight. I know the audience got a lot of great advice and information from that. It's great to see how easy this can be with the right planning, and especially with great partners like Capital Presence. So thank you again. Roy, if our audience wants to hear more about technology like this or how to build processes around a hybrid work environment, where can they find you?
Yeah, so I'm all over the place, right? But I was told a long time ago to give people one place to look, right? So if you go to capitalpresence.com, and that's capital with an O, like the Capitol building, and then presence, like you're here, that's the best place to find us. So capitalpresence.com. You'll find we have a podcast. You'll find probably all of our social medias up there. So yeah, that's the best place to find us. The only other place would be to find our podcast, and that's Innovare, Inovare, podcast.com. We were at one point the number 83 tech podcast in US on iTunes, ahead of Google. So take that, Google. But that was a long time ago. So like, subscribe if you have any questions about things. Those are the 2 places you can find us.
Amazing, Roy. Thank you so much. Folks, that's it for today. This has been an incredible conversation with Roy Edwards from Capital Presence. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Tech Stack Show.